Hello everybody, I'm going to talk about what I learned from an expert plan. First, when we want to make an expert plan, we have to be ready for not being ready. I mean, so many things could happen when we want to make an expert plan. So we have to get plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, because we never know, so many variables and so many things could be a disaster or a cause, and we have to know how to deal with. So it's pretty important to understand that, and it's you have to calculate the time that maybe your merchandising have to arrive. You have to be conscious that the competition is different and every day it could change, and the worries just keep going and keep going. And about life also, in this class I learned so many things that I think are pretty important. For example, we understand a little bit more about the important tool that LinkedIn is. And it's really important in this world that is globalized and we are all connected. So we have to really understand how to use this tool, and also Excel. It looks like something basic, but they are so powerful. And another thing that I want to say thank you to my professor, and I really like it. It was that we had uh, so many important people that they invite in class, and we can learn from real experience things that we can learn actually in the class, something that is used like in the real life. I was really happy, for example, when the blue fishing author went to class, because one of the things that I want to do in life is being a PR. I want to be a really the biggest PR of South America. And Blue Fishing, the author of this book, he's an amazing PR, and I was pretty impressive that Simons was in our class. So we learn from his experience, we learn about life, we learn important tools, and we learn about expert plan. So I feel so good with the class, and that's it. Bye.
I personally want to talk about my experience during the expert plan or the final exam and how the classes and the entrepreneur help us. For the expert plan required, we did a long research in terms of the company, the potential market, the consumer, the distribution channel, the logistics, and also a projection of profit and loss. We wanted to put into practice all the subjects that we learned in the classes of expert business plan and the entrepreneurs that taught us important things when it comes to exporting and business. We made a study in the potential markets with databases like TradeMap, ProColombia, Market Access Map, and Euromonitor, which is the database that Camilo Sarmiento, the CEO and founder of Argento Bourbon, recommended. The entrepreneur Camilo Sarmiento commented that a brand may be locally relevant or locally irrelevant, and in another international market it might be different. For this reason, it is important to carry out an extensive study of the markets where we want to internationalize in order to see if it will have a good relevance in the country or not. Therefore, first we made a study of potential markets, a matrix of pre-selection among 3 countries with more potential to be able to choose a country which has the greatest possibility that the brand has a good positioning and entry into the country. Another tip that this entrepreneur told me is about the online opportunity for companies. From his experience and knowledge, he commented that online channels allow companies to obtain information about customer behavior that can be used to optimize the design of new products and marketing campaigns. With e-commerce, the opportunity to reach out to the consumer and get to know them is greater. And the company we were analyzing doesn't manage any e-commerce, it only has a presence in a few. The website is more informative than commercial, therefore, thanks to the work of Camilo Sarmiento, we applied this strategy to internationalize the product in the Spanish market. So apart from being in bars, restaurants, and supermarkets, we also look for e-commerce platforms that guarantees a closer approach in consumers. In fact, consumers themselves are the ones who recommend using such platforms, as Camilo Sarmiento said, that 91% of them advise a company to stand out for e-commerce. It has many advantages such as time flexibility, greater reach, and visibility for companies. I personally think that the way he talks about how important it is to give an experience to the customers tell me a lot in terms of business, because many companies focus on just selling products and not much about the customers. He told us that the customer experience and the way we treat them is more important than selling them a product. He also considers them as a family, so it is great to see companies applying these strategies that I personally share with him.
In class, we also talked to Carlos Martin, owner of La Medalla Milagrosa, a school that evolved through time, as any company should and must do. He told us about how his aunts founded the company and the way that they were so attached to traditional methods. As time went by, he and his brother took the courage to propose a new approach in order for the school to evolve. They remained the company's essence, but with a little twist, which was technology. As engineers, they needed to optimize administrative processes to ease the personal's duties. Also, he began to use these technological tools as educational support and noticed that students, which are their main customers, were focusing more on these trends. As a result, he listened to their needs, as any company should do, and also gave them more than expected. He focused then on the educational processes, and with the technological and psychological support, they tracked each student in order for them not to lose any subject. As any company must aim, they try to prevent the problem beforehand for it to stop. We also talked with Andres Fernandez, Mimi's restaurant owner. He talked about how he detected the P&L structure for a restaurant and designed a financial strategy to determine each product's cost. As Carlos before, he also noticed that technology was the answer and what his market was heading towards too. His business model was very homey as a family brownie business, as the one that Mimi started. They saw the potential the brand had and the product itself, and they wanted to grow more. Therefore, they joined Rappi at some point and saw them as a partner during their process at that point where the app is now financing their 9-in-1 restaurant kitchen idea. And now another lesson that was from him was the diversification on a business by developing many restaurants with different menus and market segments. Also, from this we can conclude that tradition is very important in a business to remain, but so does keeping up with the market's needs and heading towards new goals.
The entrepreneur Orlando Estralaga of Herrajes Andina emerged in a difficult time. The country was having an economic crisis and also led the company to a low point. Perhaps for a lot of entrepreneurs it was the time to leave it all behind, but on the contrary, Orlando looked for a way to escape and go through with new ideas. He bet all, took great risks, and left the country and went knocking for opportunities. The opportunities came, but times passed, and they saw potential in new markets abroad. All of this happened because Orlando believed in the capability of the company, made future plans, organized their operations, and all of it by making deals with commitments, by giving his word and showing what he was able and the company was able. Suppliers were willing to work with, and the company was able to provide to clients. Sometimes believing and working on a goal will provide results. His life experience shows us perseverance, tolerance, persistence, and determination. Each one of the interviews that we had the opportunity to watch in the export class represents life, sometimes difficult but with strength we can go through, and sometimes good just to enjoy it. And at the end of all, it gives us hope to work on our goals. Thank you, Mister, for sharing with us this time. We have learned a lot from all of the entrepreneurs and, of course, of you.